The college football experience, TCU Horned Frogs 2024 season preview episode on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Yes, Underdog is giving away $15 million in Best Ball Mania 5. Sign up, and when you do, sign up with the promo code TCESGPN to claim your special first-time deposit offer up to $250 in bonus cash. UnderdogFantasy.com, promo code TCESGPN. We're also brought to you by Rhythm. Rhythm has the best AI picks and projections, and, well, their college football product, it's about to drop. Claim your free 7-day trial period today by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. That's RITHMM. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. And remember, as always, folks, too, let it ride.
This is Mike Leach, head football coach at Mississippi State, and you're listening to SGPN. Let it ride.
Yes, yes, yes. Woo! Welcome to the TCU Horned Frogs 2024 season preview. It is just great to be here, ready to talk Horned Frog football for 2024. Just 2 years ago, they were in the national championship. Well, I don't know if they were in the national championship. They went to the national championship, but they got there by beating Jim Harbaugh in Michigan, and then obviously last season, not as successful there with the 5-7 season from Sonny Dykes, and an opening loss to Colorado as a 21-point favorite. Look, we're going to talk more about that. We're going to go through the offense, defense, special teams, future of TCU football, including game by game on this year's schedule. YouTube.com/The College Experience, as we break down all 134 college football teams with an hour-long podcast dedicated to each and every team in the land. If you're wondering just who the hell you're listening to, my name is Colby Swigga, Database Dad, a.k.a. Pick Dundee. That's not a pick. This is a pick. And Cap Bozo. That's my new name. Cap Bozo. Let's go.
He was raised in the land down under, where a man thinks on his feet, speaks with his fists, and lives by his wits.
When Dundee happened, he was a superstar.
And you're nothing but a chameleon, lemon-headed, coward, terrorist pussy. And I'm after you, buddy. You're going to pay for it. Good night.
Some say it might have been the way Gary Patterson felt watching his Horned Frogs. He's got a statue built of him. Then he watched him in the national championship. He says, after you, buddy. Now he's working for Baylor this year. Just disgusting. But hey, Sonny Dykes, national championship year 1, 5-7 year 2. I was listening to another platform say he's on the hot seat. No, he's not. He went to the national championship, what, 2 years ago? No. Yep. No. I am joined by my co-host. He is the host of the Bottom Line Bombs. Some know him as Scumbagger Vance. Some know him as the Bet Detective, but we here know him as Dandy Tomlinson. Give it up for CJ Sullivan. How are you, pal?
Yes, what's up there, Kobe? Cat Bozo, by the way, with maybe the most unstoppable play in Tecmo Bowl. You can put all 10, 11 guys on him. He's making that catch.
Let's go.
Once he was that little dip to the outside, back slant over the middle, unstoppable.
I've always said Cap Bozo would be my rap name, but now I was thinking about it over the past couple months, and it's like that needs to be my new nickname because I'm capping these games and I'm a bozo, so Cap Bozo fits.
It's fantastic,
but buddy, I love your background.
Thank you. And you know who that player is by my shoulder, behind underneath the bleeding Texas State there, by the way?
I mean, it does not look like LaDainian Tomlinson. So
it's not LaDainian Tomlinson. It goes back a little further than that. Think of the 1980s.
Is that a running back, first off?
It's a running back, very talented running back. He
I'm going to say Thomas Smith, or no, Kenneth Davis. Kenneth
Davis,
Yeah.
Very solid, absolute great backup to Thurman Thomas there in Buffalo. Great back on his own right, Kenneth Davis.
Played for the Packers too. Played for the Packers
absolutely.
early in his career. Yeah,
TCU legend.
I love that. You like that poll, don't you? Huh?
Great poll.
Yeah, there we go. We still got it. It's
Not
all
too
up
many
here,
good players came through TCU for about 30, 40 years until Greg Patterson came back there as the coach. But then all of a sudden they had 11 winning seasons in the last like 20 or so. But yeah, slim pickings when you're going through the TCU legends. But the Dandy Tomlinson is a combination of Andy Dalton, even though I called myself Dandy, and of course LaDainian Tomlinson, the greatest to ever come out of TCU.
Yeah, they have 11 double-digit win seasons since 2000.
Yep,
that's pretty fucking remarkable.
And that's no coincidence to who the coaches were.
Yeah, they had well, obviously Gary Patterson was kind of the real one, but Dennis Franchione, but Patterson was part of that staff. He was the DC, so I'm just gonna say Gary Patterson.
Mm-hmm.
Just give it to Gary Patterson.
Yeah.
Buddy, but it's and by the way, I'm on G. Carter Stadium. Fantastic stadium. For a deeper dive on that, check out the Stadium Heads podcast, because you gotta love the fact they're playing in the same stadium where Slinging Sammy Ball was firing touchdowns left and right. And he was also playing safety, knocking you the fuck out. It was just that's when the quarterback was the quarterback, man. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Like
goddamn Sammy Ball.
Can you imagine Andy Dalton playing safety today?
Kind of, actually. I mean, he's barely a quarterback, so why not put him at safety?
Oh boy. Look, we're going to talk TCU football here, but before we do that, I want to tell you are listening to the Sports Gambling Podcast Network and the College Football Experience. And we're brought to you by the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. So make sure to check out this week's featured podcast, the MLB Gambling Podcast. Give you all the picks you need to crush the rest of the MLB season. Plus the College Football Experience. This very show's knee deep in 134 team previews. So youtube.com/the College Experience, or subscribe to the podcast, iTunes, Spotify, get the SGPN app. It's free to download in the App Store and Google Play Store. So hop on over there and do that. All right, back talking Horned Frog football. What happened? What happened, man? You go to the national championship in year one of Sonny Dykes' era, and then you just bounce back to a 5-7 season. Now I know, Garrett Riley, who was the brother of Lincoln Riley, he had left after year one as the OC, or I'm sorry, like being the OC in year one with Sonny Dykes for Clemson. They brought in Kendal Briles, son of Art Briles, and it just didn't click. Obviously, you lost Max Duggan, Quentin Johnson. You lost a lot of guys from that national championship team. But Kendra Miller, I mean, there was a good amount of them. But at the same time, I think most people figured TCU be better than 5-7. It just didn't work out last season, and then they got rid of Joe Gillespie, the DC, who had done pretty damn good, I thought, in year one. I thought they might have pulled the trigger a little early on that, but what's your overall assessment? They did have a lot of close losses last year. You look at it, it's like 3-point loss to Texas, 7-point loss to Texas Tech, 3-point loss to Dub V, 3-point loss to Dion in Colorado, 13-point loss to Iowa State. They only really got their ass whooped by Oklahoma and Kansas State. So they were in a lot of games, but what was your overall assessment of last season?
Well, I mean, obviously a letdown from their amazing title run when they went to the championship game and, of course, beat Michigan in the college football playoff. They lost some players, but it was also a letdown. Now, I thought they'd be better. I thought they'd at least make a bowl game, for crying out loud. But like you said, they lost a lot of close games too, so it's not as bad as it looked. And also, in fairness, that magical run they had 2 years before the championship game, everything went right for them. They came back from a couple 18-point deficits. They won all those close field goal games. Now that's because, one, they were good, and two, they had a lot of experience. So I don't think they were as good as that team, and I don't think they're as bad as last year's team. I think
that's
somewhere. I think this year's team is going to be somewhere in between.
Yeah, and one of the things I love is in your photo you have, and we're going to talk about this game later, what is the giant dick measuring contest going on between SMU and TCU. So, a few years back, Sonny Dykes comes over from SMU.
Sonny Dykes.
And they really took it personal there. The rivals, you're going from SMU to TCU. Then he goes to the national championship and he's also 2-0 against them. Now SMU calls George W., who's not an alum. They just call him, right?
Yeah.
Hey, George W., can you get us in a power conference? We don't even need the TV, the TV money. Just you know what? Get us in. We'll handle everything. So, private schools don't release their tax, money, but for the most part, I mean, I think you can find information on certain ones. The most we had ever seen was A&M raising, that we had known of recent would be that A&M raised $151 million for their athletic department. Well, SMU raised 160, just about 159 and a half. Reports are that they did that in 3 months. So you gotta love this. They're joined and suddenly, I don't love this aspect, but the Battle of the Iron Skillet's going to be going away soon. What the hell's going on here?
They're taking away the skillet.
I see your skillet in the background there. They've only been playing that for 100 and fucking 10 years or something.
All right, for goddamn skillet. You put some griddles on the cakes on the griddle. For God's sakes, that's what you do out there. You cook it on a rock because that sun is roasting so hard. God damn, college football is insane the way they take away anything. I mean, all sports is just taking away any kind of tradition or anything that the fans enjoy for as much money as possible. But the Iron Skillet's one of the games I used to really look forward to, actually.
Yeah, well, this one might be. I would love to know more of why. Why I don't know if this is a TV exec thing or if this is just TCU feels threatened by SMU coming up to the P5. They're battling over. They're separated by like 20 minutes, so like they're battling over a lot of the same recruits. I enjoy the hatred, the animosity for each other. And I think college football suffers when we don't have the skillet, but we have at least 2 more years of the skillet, so we can enjoy it there. Anyway, where are you at with Sonny Dykes? What do you think of him as a head coach? Former Texas Tech baseball player. His dad was Spike Dykes, who coached football at Texas Tech before he became Sonny Dykes became a GA for Mike Leach at Kentucky, I believe, if memory serves me correct. Where are you at with old Sonny Dykes? You look at he's 89 and 72 in 14 years as a head coach. His resume is nice. I mean, he was an offensive analyst for Gary Patterson, worked under Mike Stoops, worked under Hal Mummy. Where do you think he's a good coach? You think he's the guy for the job for the future of TCU?
I mean, like you said, it's hard to take away that year from him they had 2 years ago. I mean, that's never happened in the history of the school, let alone, to get to the playoffs like that. That's just, it's crazy, what they were able to do and what they are still doing. Now, obviously it was disappointment last year, but I like Sonny Dykes. I love his dad, Spike Dykes. What a great name Spike Dykes is. I mean, just incredible. And he fits right in there. It's perfect. And I like that he came over from SMU. I like his offense, obviously. I'm fine with. I don't know who the hell's saying he's on the hot seat. That's crazy to me. But Sonny Dykes, I'm fine with Sonny Dykes, and I'm fine with his TCU program. They're going to compete. Yeah,
they're going to score a lot of points. Shout out to Jonathan Mundy in the chat saying, "What up, Colby and the man in the box?" Yes. Same with Dick Gertzberger. Love to have him back doing it. Hell of a good guy. Look, before we hop in and talk about offense, defense, special teams, and their worst loss in the 2000s, I do want to tell you that the TCU Horned Frog 2024 season preview episode is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Yes, Underdog Fantasy just launched Underdog Streaks. Hit your first 2 entries, and then we're going streaking. Yes, if you can go 11-0, you can win 1,000 times the amount of money you enter. 1,000 times. Plus, Best Ball Mania is live with $15 million in prizes. You can now use specials and boost on all flexed entries. So sign up. And when you do, sign up with the promo code TCE SGPN to claim your special pick plus first time deposit offer up to $250 in bonus cash. Yes, they do have college football. Yes, they do have college basketball. They just added college football best ball, which I've been waiting for since like 1995. So what's going on? Jump on over there. UnderdogFantasy.com, promo code TCE SGPN. We're also brought to you by Game Time. Game Time's now an authorized ticket marketplace of the MLB, which makes getting tickets even faster and easier. Prices on the Game Time app actually go down the closer it gets to first pitch, with killer last minute deals, all in prices, views from your seat, and their lowest price guarantee. Game Time takes the guesswork out of buying MLB tickets. And the same applies. Like Game Time's just it's a well-run app, if I may say so. I use it all the time. And I think with college football is not like MLB, it depends on the team. Like if you're going to Yankee Stadium, you definitely want to, pull out the Game Time app, but like, obviously, like an Oakland A's game has like 4 people there. So it's like, you can still use the Game Time app, but I'm saying college football, you definitely need to load up that Game Time app because good luck getting a ticket to Amon G. Carter Stadium. We saw that Colorado game last year shattered their records as far as sellouts. And, you want to know especially with college football stadiums are very historic. So like they've had to build around it. So you might get a seat with a pillar in front of you if you're not paying attention. So Game Time will take all that out of there because they'll show you your exact view from the seat on the app. Take the guesswork out of buying the tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use the redeeming code. That would be CFBX. All right. For $20 off your first purchase. Once again, terms apply. Create that account, redeeming code CFBX for $20 off. Download the Game Time app today. Last minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed. All right. Back talking TCU Horned Frog football here. And I did like the DC. I don't know that Joe Gillespie really deserved to be fired because I think he's a pretty decent defensive coordinator. But they did. Andy Avalos was the head coach of Boise State who got fired. And they even won the Mountain West after that. But he's their new DC. I'm intrigued with that hire to see how that works out. But the worst loss. Let's shit on TCU for a second.
Yeah, before we start talking about the excitement, diversity of Andy Avalos's 4-2-5 defense, let's turn back the clock of all the shameful losses this program's had in the last 24 years.
Well, I know there's a couple teams on there. Not TCU, ECU.
Well,
but,
I was just going to say, how does that even make the bad losses? Isn't any a loss?
Well, just group of 5, just group of 5s. But no, it's not a bad loss. That's a great. Wow, that's actually a great loss.
Yeah, if there ever was a moral victory, that is keeping it within 1 score to the East Carolina Pirates.
That is true. That is true. You make a lot of sense. It's got to be Northwestern State, right? The Demons there in Louisiana.
Yep, at home.
That's the only FCS loss on here, and I think that takes the cake.
Yeah, I don't see too many bad losses other than that, to be honest with you.
Yeah, maybe UAB.
These all seem respectable losses.
Yeah. So I guess we're not shitting on them too much. But look, the offense a year ago, 40th in the nation for Kendal Briles. 31.3 points per game, 6th best in the Big 12, 100th in yards, which is crazy considering they were a lot better a year ago, or the year prior. 466.7 yards per game. They were 7th in the nation in passing, and they had QB problems.
They did have QB problems.
You figure it out, right? 312.2 yards per game, 70th in rushing, 154.5 yards per game. What's the one that stands out to you the most?
Well, it's amazing. 31 points a game, 40th is still pretty good, although that's down from 38 points a game the year before, which is a huge drop off. Yeah. Obviously, there was a lot of talent up there, but they're still going to have a good offense no matter what. And the rushing is nice. They're going to, of course, they lost. Was it Amani Bailey was the running back last year? He had like 1,200 yards.
Yeah,
he's on the Kansas City Chiefs, and other than that, obviously, like we said, it was just a drop off from their championship season, but their offense is always going to be good.
Yeah. And now, I mean, I don't know, like, I wonder if they emphasized the run more in year 2 of Briles. Cause they were 10th in the Big 12. There was 14 teams in the Big 12 last year. So one of the worst running teams in the conference. I wonder if they emphasize that a little bit more, but in general, they got to move the ball down the field though more. 100th in yards is crazy for TCU.
Yeah, I know. Well, like you said, they did have quarterback problems, but then eventually it sorted itself out. So I think they're going to be okay this year with Josh Hoover. We'll get into that. But,
returning starters, there's only 4, but if you count Hoover, who did start, I believe, like 5 games, I think it was.
Yeah, he finished the last 6, I believe. He threw
okay.
he threw for 2,200 yards and 15 touchdowns.
Dude, one of those
of
games. So I forget which game it was. I was watching it live when it happened, and I was like, "This kid's gonna be a stud," right? And then I took them as a dog the very next week, and they lost by like 30. But I thought it was promising. Now they brought in Ken Seals too. Great, sounds like a porn name. But Josh Hoover, you think he's gonna start over Ken Seals?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I like Ken Seals. He had a nice little run there at Vanderbilt there. But I think it's Hoover's job to lose. He gained a lot of experience. They talk about him. Sonny Dykes talked about him. He liked the experience he had, and he stepped up. He was a red shirt last year, right? And then he battled it out. So yeah, I think it's going to be Hoover. Seals to add a nice little competition. But we'll see.
But so okay, if we count Hoover as a returning starter, that means 5 returning starters. They do return a couple wideouts, Savion Williams and JP Richardson. Remember, JP Richardson was at Oklahoma State a couple years ago. Only bringing back 2 of 5 on the offensive line. How concerned do you think we should be on this offense? I mean, I know they bring in some guys in the portal, which we'll get to in a second, but
Colton Deary there is nice. And Mike Nichols, of course, they brought in, we'll get to the portal. And Mike Nichols. Yeah. Those are 2 offensive linemen, 2 receivers. They bring in some nice portals. So yeah, I mean, they got to retool, but this is the way it is now. It's you have to tool with the portal. So.
Yeah, it should be mentioned also that the receiving core with Jack Beck also, he got some starts a season ago. So coming over from LSU the year prior, they also have Dylan Wright. But they did lose some guys in the portal. Chandler Morris is done with their games. Says I'm out of here. You know what, Sonny? I'm heading to Denton. All right. Going up to Denton, Texas, be a part of the Mean Green. I'd say that's the only substantial one because he is depth. He's a guy who started a few games over the years, even the national championship year. But besides that, I mean, Russell goes to Colorado, Allen to UTSA in the receiving core. I don't think it's much on the offensive side of the ball, right?
Yeah, not too much. I'm not too worried about the portal. Like I said, if anything, they just lost a couple graduation. They lost their tight end, Jared Wiley, also to the Kansas City Chiefs. The Chiefs love that TCU program, by the way.
What do we got to do to go back to that retro logo there? What do you think of that one?
The leather helmet on the Horned Frog there, pulling the old Heisman. His knees down, it looks like. So mark that Horned Frog down there. He's got to learn the new rules.
YouTube.com/the college experience. Hop on over there. They went out in the portal, did bring in Ken Seals, as we alluded to. Also, the running back, Dominic Johnson from Arkansas. Now, I don't even know if he's going to maybe that's just depth because Cam Cook, who played some last week, and they still have Trey Sanders, the Alabama transfer.
I was just going to say they still have Trey Sanders from Alabama. He was supposed to compete last year, but then Bailey just took over as the main guy. But Cam Cook was injured last year, right?
Yeah, so but he was
but he's
a guy they loved. Yeah,
I love him too. I think if he's healthy this year, he's obviously going to be the number 1 back. But hopefully Sanders will get in there somewhere. So I'm excited. They'll be okay with that.
And they add to the receiver room with Braylon James from Notre Dame, and then Eric McAlister.
That's the guy that pops out to me, Eric McAlister from Boise.
He was good at Boise, man. He was very good at Boise.
He was a beast. All the receivers are just big and fast. They have huge targets, and McAlister can fly down the field. It was like 18 yards a catch or something from at Boise.
Yeah, and then Drake Dabney Coleman here at the tight end spot. Yeah, rest in peace to the legendary Dabney Coleman. But Drake Dabney was a beast tight end at Baylor. I was surprised after that productive of a season that he bounced over to TCU. But it is what it is. They also brought in Jax Porter from Alabama at the tight end spot. I actually think the pass game is going to be fine. I guess you circle the running back spot or maybe the quarterback spot.
I think quarterback is the most important as far as question mark there. I'm not worried about the running backs. I'm certainly not worried about the receivers or the tight end. Even the line, like you're saying, the portal there. They got That Brockenmeyer, there was a guy from Alabama they got there. Oh, there he is, Brockenmeyer.
Yeah, yep. James Brockenmeyer. I wonder if he's the son of Blake Brockenmeyer. Remember him?
Yeah, old Blake Brockenmeyer.
How about Bless Harris?
Oh, bless his Harris. Yeah, from SSU. I like that. I like the nice addition. These guys these guys, you have to consider them returning starters at this point. When you guys who played at other schools, and who have plenty of playing time. They didn't start for TCU, but they did start. So,
yeah. And how about the Bless Detective?
The Blessed Detective, yes. Count your. Well, bless your heart is a beautiful Southern way to say go fuck yourself. Well, just bless his heart then. He's a piece of shit. That's a great. Bless is a great name.
Remington Strickland coming over from A&M. I know that's another guy that on the depth chart. And how about Carson Bruno coming in from La Tech? He's penciled in to start. So. That's an interesting get there. Yeah, I think they did a good job trying to patch up the O-line with guys that could potentially start. Like I said, Bless Harris projected to start, Brockermeyer, Bruno all projected to start. But what's a real thing is the sophomore slump, and that's what Josh Hoover has to. I just said this for Noah Fafita in Arizona. This is a real thing. You can go back to Manziel. You can go back to any of these guys. The sophomore slump. I put some stock in that. Do you?
Oh, it's absolutely a thing, but I'm not too worried about it with who. Obviously Hoover, because I don't even think he's that established as a freshman. So I think he's still on his way up. He needs to still have his coming out. It's not like he had a blow up on the scene.
He doesn't have every girl knocking on his door yet.
Yeah, no,
it's not like Fafita has that. I think right. I think some of these other ones have. Yeah. All right. Well, look, we're going to talk defense in a second. You think this offense will put up better numbers than a year ago, CJ?
Then last year, I do. I think the offense is going to be fine. I like the receivers. I like the tight end. I think the quarterback play, as much as we just said, I think Hoover will be better than he was last year. Or at least he will be their established quarterback. So that helps right there. So I think it'll be better.
I think so too. I think it will. I want to see the run game be a little bit better, but we'll see. Look, we're going to talk defense in a second, but I want to tell you this TCU Horned Frogs 2024 season preview episode is brought to you by Rhythm. If you're not checking out the AI picks and props from Rhythm, then you are missing out. They just dominated the British Open and their college football product. Well, it's about to drop. You can customize your own betting models easily using Rhythm's tools. Claim your free 7-day trial period today by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. That's RITHMM. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. We're also brought to you by Circa Survivor and Circa Millions. Yes, I was just at beautiful Circa in Las Vegas for media days. Stadium Swim's the greatest. I know. The Blessed Detective was just there recently too.
Mm-hmm.
If you follow him at CJ Sullivan _ on Twitter, you can see the road to 10 million. But yeah, Circa's incredible, man. It's like heaven. It really is heaven for sports fans. Circa Sports is back with Circa Survivor and Circa Millions, giving away $16 million in guaranteed prizes. Imagine the regret you'll feel if you're in your little shabby little office pool, throwing in $200 and you win your NFL Survivor pool with a couple hundred people in your office, and you win $400 in a damn Applebee's gift card, right? you're gonna be sitting there saying, "Damn it, why didn't I enter the Circa Survivor?" Because you could be a millionaire if you had done that. Don't have a trip booked yet for Las Vegas before the football season? May I recommend you go out? Ultimate Contest Weekend's a great time to go out. You can hang with our pals Stacking the Money Green and Ryan Real Money Kramer from the Sports Gambling Podcast, and you can enjoy some of the open bar events at the greatest sports book in the world, August 22nd to August 24th. Use the promo code, by the way, SGP15 to save you 15% off your hotel room there at Circa for sign up weekend. That is. So go on over there, do that. All right. And sign up in person at Circa Sports between now and September 7th. And you can use a proxy to play from anywhere. We even have a deal with footballcontestproxy.com to save you $50 with the promo code SGP. All right. Back talking Horned Frog football. The defense a season ago, Joe Gillespie fired. 78th in scoring per game, 9th best in the Big 12. There was 14 teams, as I remind you, last season. It wasn't just 12. They were 100th in yards. That was bottom 4 defense in the Big 12. 12th against the pass and 6th against the run within the Big 12. The best they charted though out of any of those statistics were 75th against the run. I understand it was a bad year for Gillespie, but the year before he'd done pretty good work. That's why I was a little surprised they let him go.
They were pretty bad. They were pretty bad though last year, and that D line is just brutal. I mean, I did like the scheme they did there. I mean, you gotta mix it up, but that's why I'm excited for
Avalos, right?
Yeah.
Well, you know what's not exciting is only returning 5 starters, and I'm kind of being generous. Judging the returning starter thing is like, how many do you want? How many starts define a returning starter? If you started 4 games, 6 games, 8 games, I don't know. But anyway, we got 5 starters back, 2 on the defensive line, 1 in the linebacking core, and 2 in the secondary with Avery Helm and Bud Clark. How much of an X factor is that? I guess not really, right? With a different coach, right?
Right. And they're switching to the 4-2-5, as we said, which is also kind of odd because the linebackers, I believe, are their strength. They have a lot of them too, but and it will be exciting. It's versatile. That is true. Sam Gabbo says in the chat, the 3-3-5 stack was unwatchable.
I know. Rocky Logs rolling over in his condo in Albuquerque. But
that D line last year struggled. The safety struggled. They should be better. I like Fox and Aliwell, whatever, to return starters on the D line, and they brought in a couple more in the portal. So their pass rush should be better. That's for sure, which they need to be.
Well, they happen to lose their best defensive player, though. Demonic Williams going to Oklahoma. You let the filthy Sooners come in and pluck your best player. The other ones I don't really worry about too much, but Williams was a gigantic loss in my opinion. So I don't know that they're going to win the portal here, even though they brought in a slew of guys on the defensive side of the ball to help with this. I mean, once again, you got 3 safeties coming in, 3 corners, 2 linebackers, and 3 defensive linemen. I don't know. I mean, I still say like some of those guys, like Cooper McDonald was good at San Diego State. You know, like they're good. They have some talented guys coming in, but I just don't know that you can replace. And Asafo Mensah from Notre Dame. Notre Dame's always good on the line of scrimmage, or like at least the past decade or so. So that's a nice get, but I don't know. I feel like they slightly still lost the portal on the defensive side of the ball.
It's interesting. I mean, let's see. They brought in let's see a couple on there. Terry and Mitchell on there from Georgia. Then they bring him in there as well from D tackle. Or was I reading that wrong? Was that an early report?
Is that the year before? That the year before?
Maybe I'm looking at old portals in there.
I don't know. Maybe I missed one. I'm not sure.
I'll tell you what, though, the D back from Utah stands out. Jatavius Broughton. He was in Utah for a while, right? He was a mainstay out there.
He was. That was a nice get. That's what I'm saying. You could argue it, but I will say, like, Oklahoma was like thrilled to get Williams.
Sure. So but I like Cameron Smith from Memphis as well. That Florida cornerback. They did okay, but you're right. That it's kind of even. But we'll see. We'll see how they do. The D line is just going to have to improve. It's going to have to improve. It can't be worse than what they were.
Yeah. Do you think the defense in year 1 under Avalos will be improved statistically, at least from Gillespie last year?
Well, they almost gave up 28 points a game last year, so they have to work on that. And I think just the scheme away, and I think the different things he can do. I think he's a very obviously great coach.
Well, I can tell you the numbers are probably going to go down because you don't play Texas and Oklahoma.
Right, that's true. You avoid Texas and Oklahoma, and as we get into the schedule, and Kansas State and West Virginia, which are pretty key.
Yeah. Let's take a look at that win total. Sitting at 7.5. Hey, so that 5-win season was just a blemish. Vegas projecting 7.5. Now I will say this, the overs at +120, the unders at -140. So Vegas basically saying they lean to a 7-5 season for the Horned Frogs, plus 1,800 to win the Big 12 championship. Same odds to make the playoff. and to win the Natty plus 35,000 there. Any of those, I feel like if you're going to play it, you got to play win total, right? You're not going to take them to win the Big 12 championship unless you're a TCU grad, right?
Well, I mean, they're definitely explosive. They're correlated. I don't think they're winning the Big 12. No, that's why they're 18-1. I don't think they're making the playoffs. I don't think they're getting. I mean, I will dive into the schedule, but I think 9 wins is quite a task for these guys. I think 7.5 is a good number.
Let's jump into it. Week 1, they head to the farm where they hosted what Super Bowl was that? The Marino, Montana was 84. Hosted the Super Bowl there at Stanford Stadium in Palo Alto, California. Do we have a line on this? I thought I saw this line. Let me just get a quick check on this. I thought it was was it 10? I was kind of surprised by the line, to tell you the truth, when I saw it. Hang on, let me see if I can quickly track this thing down. Opening Friday night, 9 now. It's 9. The over/under set at 61.
9.61. Yep, minus 360 on the money line. Yeah. Well, Stanford's absolutely trash. So
I'm taking the points, dude. I think they're going to be able to move the ball in year 2 of Troy Taylor. Now, I do think TCU gets the win. But I'll take the 9 on the farm. Friday night football.
All right, Friday night football. Yeah, I will not. But all right, I'll take TCU to handle their business and start off 1-0, 1-0, and
well, I know that. Bring the head coach.
Absolutely piss in the face of all those private school pussies up there at Stanford. I think that team's trash.
Oh, I love the over on Stanford this year.
Really?
Yeah, I just think that year 2 and Troy Taylor's offense are going to move the ball.
Hey, I like Stanford. I hope they do well. But
the win total is like 2.5, so I'm not saying anything bold here. You know what I mean?
No, I know that. I understand that.
Right. Week 2, they're home to the fucking Long Island Sharks. All right.
Now we're
Love the fucking Sharks coming down to Texas. Get the fuck out of here. The fucking Sharks.
I mean, what's this going to be? A My Cousin Vinny remake? Or just fucking loud. Oh, what the fuck is this? I got a spur in my Brillo here.
I tell you, hey, look, I'm bringing my sister Teresa. All right.
Marie, her other girl, Marie.
This will be a 70-point win.
Yeah, they're gonna destroy Long Island.
What a dumb game. Can you at least do like Abilene Christian? Do something local for the fans. Like who gives a fuck about Long Island coming down there? Week 3 is UCF. Now this one, so we both got TCU 2-0.
Yep.
I am bullish on the Golden Knights this year. I have UCF coming in here and winning this game, and TCU going to 2-1. How about you?
Wow. Well. This is a big game, but and I like UCF as well this year. This is a coin toss game. As you'll see, there's a lot of coin toss games in this on this schedule, and a lot of people's schedules, to be honest with you, because there's only a couple other teams that are actually
you sound like Farley. A lot of guys' girlfriends are in there.
Right. But I got to win in this. I got to go 3-0 only because that Long Island kind of serves like a bye, getting ready for this week. They will overlook it a little bit. If you want to grab the points, take those Long Island Sharks plus the 45 or whatever the hell it's going to be. And
you got to go deep sea diving to find that line,
right? So I'll take TCU to go start off 3-0 and beat UCF.
Wow. All right. Well, then we got the Battle of the Iron.
I believe that's at night too. By the way, I believe that's Friday night or Saturday night at home. I think it's a primetime game.
I think UCF's a better roster right now.
They might be, but I just said it's at night.
I know. I'm on G. Carter Stadium.
That's my handicap.
I think that's good for UCF. It's hot as shit.
I think UCF's a better team. They're going to put up a lot of points, but they're going to give up a lot of points, obviously, as well. And the fact that it's at home is the advantage. That's what makes it dead even. 8 p.m. as it says in the chat room, Sam Gambo. So yeah, give me TCU's going to be lit at night as UCF comes in there.
No. Stop it. Yeah, it will be lit, but 2-1. 3-0 says the blessed detective.
The blessed detective says 3-0, and we will bless KJ's heart now.
Now they head to Dallas, Texas. Iron Skillet on the line.
Iron Skillet on the line.
Very curious what you're doing here because I don't think like there's extra ammo on this game with SMU spending that much money.
Mm-hmm. And this is one of the final Iron Skillet games you're saying?
I'm taking SMU. Yeah, I think there's only one or two left. Yeah, before and they announced it was not coming back. So, I'm taking SMU.
I'll say this: they're not winning both UCF and SMU, so I'll have them losing SMU. And if I have them beating UCF, definitely losing. If I have them losing to UCF, I can see them winning SMU. But
I'll be honest, I could easily see TCU beating SMU too. I mean, this
game, for sure.
I
mean, absolutely can TCU beat SMU, no doubt about it. This is a tough back-to-back, that's for sure, with Kansas coming up as well on the road. But I'll have them losing SMU and losing this next one to Kansas.
Yeah, I have them losing to Kansas too. It should be noted that it is at Arrowhead Stadium though, but not on campus. But they got some. They're doing free bus rides from Lawrence to Kansas City, Missouri. So good chance a lot of people will be vomiting on the side of whatever freeway that is. Then you have the Houston Cougars coming to Amon G. Carter Stadium. So I got them 2-3. You got them what?
I got them 3-2.
3-2. Willie Fritz and the Houston Cougars coming to town. Now, I think they do win this, and I think they move to 3-3 here. How about you?
I haven't beaten Houston 4-2, and then their bye. I would like their bye to come in between the SMU Kansas instead of having to play back-to-back road games like that or something like that. It kind of seems weird where the buys are set up, especially that late second bye they got.
Well, and then they come out of the bye, and you could have 5 bye weeks. It doesn't matter. They're gonna get fucking destroyed in Salt Lake City. I feel pretty good about that.
That's what I mean. That's why I would like that bye in between SMU and Kansas.
Yeah. So
Utah is definitely. There's 2 games I see that are no doubt about it losses, and that's Kansas and Utah.
Yeah, I would say so. And then they come back from Utah, which and they're not used to playing Utah. And I mean, I'm not saying there's not anyone like that, but I'm just saying like that's normally a body blow game. Like they run QB power about 50 times. Well,
I see what you're saying. So you're saying the week afterwards is going to be tough on them.
Well, maybe not because Cam Rising, maybe they pass more this year, but I know like. That I had great fun watching Utah and USC last year when they had that pig farmer at the quarterback spot, the 4th stringer, Bryson Barnes, and they just called QB power like 40 times all game. And USC just did not want to make contact and tackle this guy. Yeah. So I got him 3-4 home to Texas Tech. This is a old school rivalry game here. This is a 50-50 game, dude. Who do you have winning this game?
Well, like I said, it's very similar to my UCF handicap. Texas Tech's the better team. They have a better roster, but the fact that it's at TCU kind of balances it out a little bit, makes this a pretty much a 50-50 coin flip to me. I can see either team winning this game. After the Utah, I'll go with your theory there that like after getting beat up a little bit at Utah, maybe they're licking their wounds a little bit and Texas Tech gets them. I'm kind of expecting kind of big things with Texas Tech as we'll be previewing them next. I'll give Texas Tech the win in this.
I will too. Yeah. So that moves me to 3-5. And shout out to Dick Gersberger in the chat. Goes, does Ithaca have a college? They do.
Goddamn right. I got recruited by Ithaca.
And you actually, one of our listeners is a part of the staff, I believe, of the Ithaca Bombers. That's their name there. So go check out them. I think they play on the D3 level.
Upstate New York. Very cold, right by Syracuse up there.
There we go. Now they head to Waco. TCU at Baylor. These games have been insane over the past, even the year they went to the national championship, the fire drill, kicking field goal. All right, give me since they lost the Texas Tech and Baylor games are hard to project. I'll just say since they lost to Texas Tech, give me the Baylor one. Give me a 4th win.
Take a win versus at Baylor.
They'll go 1-1 in that stretch. Maybe it's Tech. Maybe it's Baylor.
Yeah. I agree. Between Texas Tech and Baylor, they're going 1-1. So I guess in that case, I'll go with you, and they beat Baylor.
And that puts them at 4 wins, and they're home to the Oklahoma State Cowboys and Mike Gundy. Look, he only has 2 or 3 or sometimes 4 beers.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I got them losing that, man. You?
I have him at 5 wins, and I have him beating Oklahoma State at home. Make that 6 wins. I think. Or maybe they lose that one. They can't win both.
I feel like Oklahoma State towards the end of the year starts to play really good every year.
Yeah, that's a good point. But with the bye coming up, it's a nice little spot for him, actually. I think all these tougher games where the teams are slightly better than them, they have them at home, which is an advantage, you know?
Yeah. I'm taking State. So I still have them at 4 wins. They get that bye week you alluded to. Then they're home to Arizona. This is winnable.
This is winnable. This is definitely a game I can see them losing, though, as well.
Yeah. Look, I'll say between this and that game that's going to be cold as fuck on November 30th at Cincinnati, I got them going 1-1 here. I think they're 5-7 again.
I had them beating Oklahoma. I think I might have them at 7 wins. So I definitely haven't beating either. I might have them beating Arizona and Cincinnati. I don't expect a lot from Cincinnati this year. Yeah, I see. I have them. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, there, 4, 5. Yeah, I have them at 7 wins, and the total 7.5.
Yeah,
and that's a ceiling. That's with them beating UCF, and so yeah, I kind of like the under here.
I love the under. I'm 5-7, so I have 2.5 games off, and I actually think they could be 4-8.
That's a slap in the face. Come on.
I just feel like the conference has no bad teams. Like what they have one for sure win here. I think Stanford is going to be a game. Yeah, I think that's a hard schedule. Like going to Cincinnati, you know how cold these little Horned Frogs are going to be up there in Cincinnati, Ohio on November 30th.
Come on now. All right.
Yeah, I'm sorry. 5-7, 4-8. I love TCU. I want TCU to be good. So at least, hopefully, I'm wrong and they go 6-6. I'd still be right on the under, and they make a bowl.
We have a big difference. I have them at 7-5, and yet we're still on the under.
I'm trying to think
that's how good that underplay seems like.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of like best case scenario. I mean,
I think 6-6 sounds reasonable. Get in a bowl game. Best case 7 wins.
Yeah. So you're already on their best case scenario, 7 wins.
Yeah, well, best case scenario. I mean, well, if you actually want to do it, best case scenario, it could be 10 wins because the only actual unavoidable losses I see is Kansas State and not Kansas State. They avoid Kansas State. Kansas and Utah. Those are the only you can't avoid it. Those are else. Other than that, I mean, if they have a charm season like they did 2 years ago, then I see them winning 10 games as a ceiling. I don't think it's happening, but I mean, yeah.
Part of the reason why I don't like it is excluding Stanford. First off, they do play 6 road games, but also excluding Stanford, 5 of those, the other 5 I have as bowl teams. So I think it makes it really hard on the road there.
Yeah, it's tough, and their non-conference isn't the easiest for sure. And but like I said, the only tough little schedule spot is that back-to-back road games. They're at SMU and at Kansas. Other than that, they all get all the coin flips at home. So we'll see.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel pretty damn good about this. You might hear this on the Locks pod. I feel good about under 7.5 with these Horned Frogs. We'll see. I love TCU's program, so I hope I'm wrong in a way. I hope I'm right cashing my money, but I hope they go 7-5 and I still cash my ticket, but because I like the program. But yeah, I think it's a pretty good bet, folks. Get on over there. Now it is, like I said, minus, what was that? Minus 120, was it? 140. So it is juice to the under. So yeah. Folks, make sure you give the Blessed Detective a follow on Twitter at CJ Sullivan _. Check out the Bottom Line Bombs podcast. What are you guys talking right now?
Yeah, subscribe to the Bottom Line Bombs. I just did an Olympic preview show last night, and then come August, we're going to start all our NFL divisional previews with a different guest for each division. Someone in the gambling comedy world, all kinds. Who knows what we're talking about?
There we go.
But we're always talking about the main stories. Like that. I don't know if you've been paying attention to that Olympic story, but did you see that? I like that Canadian drone cheating story. The women's soccer team had a drone flying over New Zealand's practice, looking for plays. I don't know what plays they're trying to find out in a women's soccer practice, but how they found it was they called the cops, and Inspector Clouseau goes up to the guy and goes to the guy flying the drone, and he's like, "Hey, who are you?" And because he's Canadian, he tells him the truth. Oh, I'm Canadian, and I'm running a spy here for the Canada women's soccer team. What the fuck,
what an
buddy?
idiot.
Yeah, lie, will you? But these Canadians, they cheat, but they have to tell the truth.
Oh, that's a great story. That's a great story. Yeah. So for more on that, check out the Bottom Line Balls podcast and Connor Stallions. Everyone needs a Connor Stallions. Everyone needs a Connor Stallions.
They're not doing a 30 for 30, but they're doing one of those Netflix stories about him.
I'm excited to see this.
Yeah, that'll be
I'm
nice.
excited to see this. Folks, give me a follow on Twitter at @TheColbyD. The College Football Experience is on Twitter at TCEO and SGPN. And remember, we're breaking down all 134 teams in the land. YouTube.com/The College Experience. Hit that like and subscribe button, folks. Also, check out the Stadium Heads podcast. Like I said, we did a deep dive on Amon G. Carter Stadium. Fantastic stuff. There's a deep dive on a lot of every single other stadium. Really, we haven't covered the fucking Long Island Sharks yet, but we will. But go check out all the other ones. It's all there for you. And check that out. Check out the FCS College Football Experience. We do talk Long Island Sharks there. So check out that. Check out the College Basketball Experience. Jamie Dixon doing a great job with this TCU program. Excited for the year ahead of them. Also the College Baseball Experience, man. TCU, it wasn't this past year, it was the year before where they were fire going up there to Omaha. Check out all that stuff. Check out the Sports Gambling Podcast as well. Till next time, folks. This is the College Football Experience, TCU Horned Frog style. We got the Red Raiders show coming right up next. You better start thinking about yours, and we out of here.
Run and shoot. We can really run and shoot. And the whole team's looking and the whole world's looking with the cameras. Run and shoot.